Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta.
So we are continuing with Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter number 3, text number 53. Shuna bhai ei sab chaitanya mahima ei shloke kahe tanra mahima rasima. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. My dear brothers, please hear all these glories of Lord Chaitanya. This verse clearly summarizes his activities and characteristics. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we have been hearing about the reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came down to this earthly planet 535 years ago. Last verse that we did, a very important verse, which is number 52, which is Krishna Parshadam Yajanti Sumedasaha. This verse everyone should know because it tells us, it's a reference for us when we preach. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? What does he look like? Like a Krishnam, which means he is not blackish, but he is golden color. And what is his purpose of coming down here is to spread Sankirtana, to spread the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So in this verse also, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving references exactly like he did in the previous ones, and to tell us that in Kali Yuga he comes in a golden form. He performs Sankirtana, singing and chanting the holy names, and he comes accompanied with his associates. If you remember last week, we learned what is the weapon that he uses? His beauty. His beauty is the weapon that attracts everyone. And here it says associate servants and confidential companions. Like we chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Shiva. So these are his companions with whom he comes. Let's see what he says in verse number 54. Krishna ei dvi varna sada yanra mukhe athava Krishna ke tinho varne nija sukhe. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The two syllables Krishna are always in his mouth, or he constantly describes Krishna with great pleasure. So beautiful. Krishna. And what is the meaning of Krishna? Most attractive, right? Most attractive. So he is constantly describing Krishna's glories and with great pleasure. When we preach, do we preach with great pleasure? We preach because we have to preach. Oh, my guru said, you have to give this knowledge to others. So somehow or the other, I must give this. Where is the pleasure? He preached with great pleasure and constantly. We learned in Bhagavad Gita, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantasha Dhrida Vritaha. With determination, we have to be chanting all the time, always, whenever possible. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came and he showed us that how we can chant all the time. Now you may say, I have so many things to do, I have to go to work, I have home duties and kids, and how can I chant all the time? Is it possible?
Yes.
Yes, it is possible. The head should go like that, not like that, like that. Yeah, it is possible, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he would go to the bathroom, he would hold on to his tongue because it would just all the time vibrate, right? We are holding our tongue all the time, and sometimes 16 rounds we let the tongue go and we chant our 16 rounds every day, right? Here, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to show us how to chant, when to chant, all the time. No rules, no regulations. You can chant anywhere and any time. So constantly preaching, which means giving this knowledge to others. And this is what pleases Guru and Krishna. When we give, like in Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, Krishna says, one who spreads my glories is most. Is there some most or mostest? No. It's most, topmost. There's nothing beyond that. That devotee is most dear. So, how transcendental sound transforms consciousness and invokes spiritual ecstasy is showed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This verse that we read just now, he constantly describes Krishna with great pleasure. This is what. And what do all the Goswamis, that six Goswamis of Vrindavan, they also teach us, right? They say that when we chant, like Rupa Goswami says, when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna is dancing on our tongue. Now we may say, oh, I have good glasses also, and still I can't see him dancing. Like, I mean, if I open my mouth, can you see Krishna dancing in my mouth? Right? Right? How do we understand that? We have to get purified. Come to that stage where we have those Brahmanical qualities like samodama tapas shaucham. We are, like our sense control, tolerance, honesty, cleanliness, austerity. When we have all those qualifications mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, then we will be able to see Krishna dancing in our mouth, right? And Rupa Goswami says, when I chant, when Krishna dances in my mouth, I want millions of mouths, right? And when that sound vibration goes into my ears, I want millions of ears so that I can hear. That is the potency of these sound vibrations. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came just to give us Krishna prema, and that too free. No charge at all. It's absolutely free. Let's see what is there in verse number 55. Krishna Varna Shabdera Artha Duita Pramana Krishna Venu Tanra Mukhe Nahi Aise Ana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. These are two meanings of the word Krishna Varna. Indeed, nothing else but Krishna issues from his mouth. Chanting and preaching. That's all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. Nothing else. He did not say, come on, sit down in meditation and start meditating, or fire sacrifices or elaborate deity worship. No. Kalautad Hari Kirtana. Only chanting the holy names of the Lord in this Kali Yuga. So they say these are the two meanings. So either he's chanting name of Krishna or he is preaching about Krishna. He's doing only these two things, only these two, chanting or preaching about Krishna. Preaching also means name of Krishna, and it is the same. So his tongue is all the time uttering the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. This verse is saying indeed nothing else but Krishna issues from his mouth. How do we know if someone is a pure devotee of the Lord?
That's all he does.
Yes, exactly. When he opens the mouth, it's only Krishna Katha. Nothing else. Not that, oh, what a beautiful sari. Where did you buy it from? Right? It's a beautiful color. There's nothing wrong in that. But it is better, oh, this sari color, I'm sure Radharani will really like it. Her favorite color is? What's her favorite color? Red.
Is it red?
Yes, red. Red is our favorite color. Right? So this is how we can do Krishna Katha. Tongue is either uttering the holy name or his glories. Text number 56. Keha tanre bale yadi Krishna varana ara visheshane tare kare nivarana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. If someone tries to describe him as being of blackish complexion, the next adjective or Tvisha Akrishnam immediately restricts him. Another reference. He is not blackish. When he came 535 years ago, he was not blackish. That's why it's called a Krishnam, not blackish. He was golden color. So we have another reference over here about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not um, a myth. It's not mythology that, oh, you people, you are fanatical and you just are saying God came 500 years ago, God came 5,000. No, it is there in the scripture. So many references are there. It's there in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrta, Bhagavad Gita. Everywhere the references are there. So it's important to understand the meaning a Krishnam, which is not blackish. It is golden color. Important to understand because it's, see, Prabhupada used to say that when we preach, when we give this knowledge to others, first of all, we should know it, right? We should read his books scrutinizingly in association of devotees so we can understand. Once we do that, then he said it is good to know the references. We may not be able to learn the Sanskrit, it's okay. But at least we should know chapter 18, verse 66 is Sarva Dharman Parityagya. Yes. So either you know Sanskrit and the translation or just the translation. But when we quote references, it authenticates our preaching, right? Just like Prabhupada gives the example of the attorney in the court. What does he do? He gives references from the law book, and then his case becomes stronger. So when we give references from the scriptures, our preaching has a stronger effect on the others. Let's see verse number 57. Deha kante hayateno akrishna varane kahe pita varana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. His complexion is certainly not blackish. Indeed, his not being blackish indicates that his complexion is yellow. Now, my question to you is, we heard this before. Since 3 verses we are hearing, he's not blackish, he's not blackish, he's not blackish. And again, why? Is it that we are dumb people, we cannot understand when we hear it one time? It's possible. Yes, it's possible.
It's auspicious when you say things 3 times.
Yes, and also it stays. It stays with us when we repeat. Don't we tell our children when they do homework, 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. The child will say, I know it, stop it. No, but you got to hear it, because the more we hear, the more it stays with us. So again, another reference is there that Krishna, when he came in Kali Yuga, was not blackish. His complexion was yellow, right? So all these minute details help us in our preaching, and it makes our preaching more powerful. Verse number 58. Kalauyam vid mamsaha sputam abhiyajante dviti bharad akrishnangam krishnam makha vidbhir utkirtanamayah upasayam cha prahuryam akhila chaturashrama jusham sadevas chaitanya kriti atitaram naha kripayatu. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. By performing the sacrifice of congregational chanting of the holy name, learned scholars in the age of Kali worship Lord Krishna, who is now non blackish. because of the great upsurge of the feelings of Srimati Radharani. He is the only worshipable deity for the Paramahamsas who have attained the highest stage of the fourth order or sannyas. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, show us his great causeless mercy. Purport. This verse is Dvitiya Sri Chaitanya Ashtaka 1 from the Stavamala of Srila Rupa Goswami. Reference from there. How beautiful. Sacrifice for this age is chanting the holy names of the Lord. When we are hearing so much about chanting, 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 then it behooves us to take it very seriously. Not just chanting, chanting without 11 offenses, making sure that we are not committing those 10 offenses given to us by Srila Prabhupada, plus the 11th offense, which is the most important, which is inattentive chanting. That is an offense, huge offense. Because until and unless we take chanting seriously, until and unless we chant attentively, all this knowledge will not turn into realization. It will just remain theory. I have to put it into practice. And here he's saying, performing the sacrifice of congregational chanting. That means for Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice that we need to perform, most important, is chanting the holy names of the Lord. And then he says he's now non blackish. And what is the reason of his golden color?
Srimati Radharani.
Yes, such a beautiful way. Upsurge of the feelings of Srimati Radharani as the reason why his color is golden. Is your hair standing on end? Just hearing that upsurge. What a beautiful word Srila Prabhupada uses. That gives us that emotion, that feelings, what Krishna is feeling by just relishing the feelings of Srimati Radharani. How beautiful. And he says, he's the only worshipable deity for the Paramahamsas. Who are Paramahamsas? Pure devotees of the Lord. Right? And then he says, may that Supreme Personality, Lord Chaitanya, show us his great causeless mercy. He's already shown us, right? First of all, by coming down. Secondly, coming down as a devotee to show us how to be a devotee. Thirdly, to give us free love of Godhead. And fourthly, giving us a very simple process. Just chant and be sad. Right? No? No? What does he say? Just chant and be happy. He doesn't say you will be happy. You said be happy means it is up to us how to be happy. If we chant attentively, then we will relish the sweetness of the holy name. So this is how Krishna is worshipped in Kali Yuga, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we know, is Radha and Krishna combined in the mood of Srimati Radharani, just to give us a very simple method. Sacrifice in this Kali Yuga is to chant the holy names of the Lord, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And this verse is saying for the Paramahamsas, pure devotees. Why are pure devotees there in this on this earthly planet? Because they feel like being in Kali Yuga?
No, they're doing service.
To save, so that we associate with them. So we need to look out for pure devotees and make an effort to associate. Now we may say COVID-19, how can we associate, right? What do you think? Online, how? Who is there online who's a pure devotee? Yeah, but who is online who is a pure devotee, who's a
You
Paramahamsa?
are Mataji. You are.
Through Prabhupada's books and lectures.
Exactly, Srila Prabhupada. Online. Srila Prabhupada's books are there, right? Instead of using our tablets and phones and computers for playing Discord, Minecraft, or all those games, or Xbox or browsing through MSN News. Oh, what's going on? What do you think is going on in the world? Same thing every day. Same thing every day. What is different? Prabhupada used to say that, that New York Times that used to come on Sundays, very thick newspaper, pages and pages. And what was in that?
Advertisement, like mostly advertisement.
Tragedy. So many died here, that accident, and so many killed here, and crime. Same thing. And then what they would do on Monday, throw it in trash. Waste of all that Krishna's energy. Right? So we have access to hearing the pure devotees of the Lord, and then they can give us their causeless mercy. Right? Let us see what does the next verse say. 59. प्रत्यक्ष तन्हार तप्त कांचनेर द्युति यानहार छठाय नाशे अज्ञान तमस्तति. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. One can vividly see his glowing complexion of molten gold, which dispels the darkness of ignorance. What is the meaning of vividly?
Clearly. Clearly.
Clearly, very clearly, right? Molten gold, which dispels the darkness of ignorance. Don't we chant that mantra, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Right? What does the spiritual master do? He removes the ajnanta, the ignorance, the darkness of ignorance with the torchlight of knowledge. This is what the Guru does. So here it's saying that darkness of ignorance is removed. That is why we offer our obeisances to the spiritual master. We offer obeisance to Srila Prabhupada, that he has given us this torchlight of knowledge, so many books, so many translations and purpose, so that our darkness of ignorance can be completely removed. And for that, we have to make an effort. How much time should we read his books every day? Minimum 2 hours. We should read his books. Or we can hear his lectures, right? Prabhupadvani.org. So many lectures are given. Even in Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna tell Arjuna? Arjuna, you must sharpen your intelligence with the sword of knowledge. This is how. But unfortunately, in this Kali Yuga, spiritual knowledge is generally not given to the children. Do they teach spiritual knowledge in school? No, I don't think even in colleges they do that. So it is the responsibility of the parents to give that knowledge to the children so that they can succeed both materially and spiritually. Talking about children not having spiritual knowledge, I was listening to this lecture, a nice story. So once an education minister gave a surprise visit in the school to see, how's education going on. This is in India. How, the teachers are they teaching properly or not? So he just all of a sudden entered the school and went to one classroom. And then he noticed, disciplined children sitting, nice uniforms. In India, we wear uniforms in school, nice uniforms, and everyone quietly there. And there's the teacher, and on the blackboard, it was written Ramayan. So the education minister thought that, okay, this is what the teacher is actually teaching. So he told the teacher, is it okay if I ask some questions to your students? He said, yeah. He was very confident. Yeah, sure. So he pointed to one boy and he said, can you please stand up? Can you tell me who broke the bow? He said, I did not. I was absent yesterday. The education minister was shocked. So he went to the next one. He said, what about you? Oh, he's right. He was absent yesterday. He didn't break the bow. The education minister was like, what's going on? There's Ramayana written on the board and they don't even know who broke the bow. So then the teacher, was saying, oh, the children are not. He pointed to a mischievous child. He said, I'm sure he broke the bow because he's a very mischievous boy in my class. The minister said, I need to see the principal. So the teacher and the principal and the education minister sat down for a discussion. The children don't know who broke the bow. The principal said, let me call the board members. Let us have a meeting. And in the meeting, they decided we'll buy a new bow. Education minister said, iska kuch nahi hoga. This school, there is no spiritual education given to the children. What is Ramayana? What is Mahabharata? What is Bhagavad Gita? Right? When I heard this, I was in splits. I was like, this is the height of ignorance, darkness of ignorance, right? Let's see what is the next verse, number 60. We'll do only till 61. Jivera kalmashatamo nasha karibare anga upanga nama nana astra dhare. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The sinful life of the living beings results from ignorance. To destroy that ignorance, he has brought various weapons, such as his plenary associates, his devotees, and the holy name. Formula to lead a sin-free life. This verse, right? Just to us sin free, so that we lead a sin free life, he has brought various weapons, his associates, his devotees, and the holy name. So, if we make up our mind, excuse me, first of all, we have to realize, have I committed sins in my past? Everybody, right? We are committing it right now by breathing. Next question is, do I want to become sin free? I don't want, I want to remove all the sinful reactions. I want to be sinless life, right? Then what do? Then I attach myself to the plenary associates, devotees, and the holy name. Just three. That's it. How can we be attached to the holy name? By chanting attentively. How can we be attached to the devotees? By serving them, right? Associating with them, serving them. And how can we be attached to the plenary associates? By hearing about them, hearing about Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, right? We generally hear about them on their appearance day, right? Lecture is there in the temple on the appearance day. Let us hear the pastime of Lord Nityananda, because it is Nityanand Trayodashi. Just once a year? No. Should keep hearing again and again and again. That is how we will be able to destroy ignorance. And here, these weapons Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought for our benefit. How merciful he is, right? He has brought these weapons, but the people of Kali Yuga, they look for shortcuts. Like when Srila Prabhupada came in the 60s, right, to the US, he said chant 64, no. Chant 32, no. Chant 16. Most people now say no. Chant one round. Okay, I'll say it 10 times. I will chant Hare Krishna mantra 10 times. And then I've done my duty. We want shortcuts. No, shortcuts are not there. If we want to take full advantage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, then we need to follow his instructions. Let's do the last verse for today, number 61. Bhakti ra virodhi karma dharma va adharma tahara kalmasha nama sei mahatamaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The greatest ignorance consists of activities, whether religious or irreligious, that are opposed to devotional service. They are to be known as sins or kalmasha. If it is not devotional service, then it is sin, whether it is religious activity or irreligious activity. Wow, how very powerful instruction. If the activity is not devotional service, it is called kalmasha, which is sinful. And that, Prabhupada says, if there is no devotional service, then that is the greatest ignorance. Greatest ignorance. And we know from Bhagavad Gita, every action has a reaction. So if you are even performing religious activities, but if it is not for the pleasure of Krishna, then it is definitely going to give us reactions. What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi dada. Whatever you do it as an offering unto me. We have to keep Krishna in the center. Remember, I always give that example. We have a big jar, we have a big stone, we have some stones, we have pebbles, and we have sand, and we have to fit everything in the jar. What should we put first? Big stone. Everything else will find its place. Pebbles will all go on the side, sands will just go down and settle. So if you put Krishna in the center of our activities and in our life, then all other activities will automatically fall in place. And Prabhupada says, what is the difficulty? Right? Isn't there a beautiful book? What is the difficulty? Our difficulty is laziness. And we have become experts in laziness.
And wanting to be the enjoyer.
Yes, and controller. Yes, we have excuses list of, like you have grocery list when we go to Kroger, we have a list of excuses why we cannot do what we are asked to do. But if we can understand Krishna consciousness is our only hope, nothing else, our only hope, only then we will be able to take up Krishna consciousness seriously. Not everyone gets this opportunity, right? Pavitra, how many people stay in the subdivision?
There are 270 houses, so
So let's say only one person in house, each house, 270 people. And on this whole subdivision, only 4 from the subdivision are sitting here, right? Not everyone gets the opportunity. And even if someone gets the opportunity, not everyone takes that opportunity, right? I will do it tomorrow. Maybe next time I will come. Call me next time. And then after 3, 4 times, you say, oh, forget it, delete this phone number. Not interested, right?
Well, the geeks are some people don't want it.
Yes, yes. And they don't want to be rude, so they have, very pleasant excuses, right? But see, not everybody gets the opportunity, and not everyone gets the opportunity to have Srila Prabhupada's books. Not everyone. And not everyone has the opportunity to have a bona fide spiritual master. How lucky we are, right? Attitude of gratitude. Thank Krishna for all that Srila Prabhupada has given us, right? I was on yesterday, ISKCON Harrisburg, when I was giving lecture, there was a word in that verse, saturated devotee. Shukadev Goswami was considered a saturated devotee. What does it mean, saturated?
Full.
Completely soaked.
Immersive.
The verse was soaked. I looked up on Mr. Google. Completely soaked. Saturated with love for Krishna. That should be our goal, to be fully saturated in Krishna consciousness, completely soaked. Is it possible?
Yes.
Yes. That's how we should say loudly, not yes. Yes, we can, right? If we make a plan, if we evaluate our present situation in Krishna consciousness, where am I? Just like in GPS, right? I don't know the way to come here, so GPS, I had to put where am I now and where do I want to go. Then the directions will come. Okay, now you turn left or right or go straight, right? So first we need to evaluate ourselves. Where am I now in Krishna consciousness? And then make a goal. Make a goal and a plan how to reach that goal. Then we will be able to make progress. But otherwise, we are just randomly living, right? Wake up in the morning. I have to do Mangal Arati. I have to, not I want to. I have to do Mangal Arati. I have to chant my rounds. I heard one lecture, now finished. Everything else in the closet. Now I can do whatever Prabhupada says. Now I can do whatever damn thing I want to do.
He did say it.
Right? He uses that word. Now I can do whatever damn thing I want to do. No. Because Krishna and Guru, they see our sincere efforts that we are making to progress spiritually. After having received this wonderful treasure house of Krishna consciousness, what do we do? When we buy when we buy something very valuable like diamonds or whatever, what do we do?
Lock them up.
Exactly. We take care of them. We protect them. We make sure no one steals it away from us, right? So when we have this treasure house of Krishna consciousness, do we want Maya to steal it away?
No.
And then we have to protect it, right? So I'm going to end now if anyone has any questions.